Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, one many of you know from grinding the Midwest scene. He has 3.1 million in earnings. He's an MSPT, HPT, and a WSOP circuit champion. He's got a MSPT Player of the Year, Hall of Fame title, and also, I believe you eclipsed 1 million in 2023 earnings this year. Welcome to the podcast, Josh.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So word on the street is that you're a professional prop better, and I've seen a little bit of this. Is this true?
No, professional degenerate.
Okay. We'll get started here. I want to kind of get into the depths of prop betting. What is your favorite prop bet that you've ever made?
Wow, I have no idea. There's so many. I just like to gamble on everything and anything, basically.
Do you feel like you have an edge on all your props, on all your bets?
No, basically, if it's close to break even, I'll gamble on it.
Okay. I mean, hey, that sounds good to me too. So Brad Jansen, bracelet winner Brad Jansen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I just wanted to juice him up a little bit. You know how it is.
Yeah, he'll like that.
He actually wanted me to ask you to bring up the milk dud prop bet. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a good one. We were playing my home game. This was just last week, the other night. And one time when I was like, I don't know, 7 years old, I had a good idea to try to fit as many milk duds in my mouth as I can.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the other night at the home game, I was like, okay, let's run this back. And decided to try to bet on it. So
wait, did you have these milk duds already, or did you go get them?
The guy that plays the home game managed some quick trips around town and brought a bunch of candy. So we had some milk duds on hand. So I was like, the light bulb went off.
What's the details?
I was just like, how many milk duds do you guys think I can fit in my mouth? And so we started negotiating the terms, and I set they're like the little mini boxes of milk duds.
Yeah.
About, okay. Josh, before you say anything, I want Max and me. Let's get what would your guess be?
Okay.
This is tough.
How many milk duds in a box? Do we know?
There's like 4 in each of those little boxes, roughly.
Okay. And is the question how many duds or how many boxes?
Either way, same shit.
Okay. I mean, so there's 4 in each box? Shit. I would say you fit probably 3.5 boxes.
I'm going to go, so that'd be like 14. I'm going to say more like 19.
I feel like we're way out. Are we under?
You guys are under. Yeah, way under. Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling that was it.
All right, I mean,
the final number.
I set the line at 11.5 boxes of mini boxes of milk duds.
Oh, wow.
So what's that? 46 milk duds?
Yeah.
And
that's fucking insane.
The one guy is like, I was trying to get people to take action. I didn't know really. Like, I don't know. I hadn't done this since I was 7 years old. So, and the time I did it when I was like 7 years old, I was in the backseat of a car. We were driving down the highway, and I started like laughing hysterically with my mouth full of milk duds and like drooling all over the place. It was a disaster, but it was hilarious.
Okay, so did this happen at the poker table then?
This one happened at the poker table. That one I was like, yeah. The recent one did. That one, yeah. This one we did at the poker table. I had like, I don't know, somewhere like a bowl in front of me. It was gonna be okay, I think. I don't know, unless I choked and died or something. We could have bet on that too, maybe.
All right. And then and did you end up winning this bet?
Okay, so that was the best part of this prop bet, this story, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
So it was, I guess, 46 milk duds was the line. So I went and got 12 boxes. We're settling on the betting terms, and we ended up betting on it. I had the over, and my buddy's opening the boxes. I'm just like dumping them in my mouth, and I'm on the last box, and it's like very close. After I had 2 boxes in my mouth, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. But like, I guess my cheeks are pretty big. I kept going, and
he had the will.
Yeah, we got it in there. And on the last one, dude, I literally like almost choked, and I don't know, there was like almost no room left. But I didn't have to like chew them and get them down.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got them in there, I could spit them out.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that'd be impossible. Once you're tapped out, you can't even move your mouth.
Yeah.
So like,
also,
that makes it easy, right?
If you were,
I don't know. But actually, once I got them in there, I did chew them and get them down anyways.
Oh, jeez.
I did it. It probably took like almost 5 minutes, but I did it.
Did you have a gut wrench afterwards?
There was like, they took like pictures and a video. It was kind of funny.
Wow. I would imagine that was a really good time. Everybody's laughing their ass off.
It was funny. Yeah, we were laughing. It was pretty good. It was entertaining. Okay, but the funny part is there's this guy that's like old school hippie kind of guy. A lot of classic rock concerts, done way too many drugs in his life.
Yeah.
After the dust settles and my buddy pays me, he's like, well, that was only 11 boxes, the guy says. I'm like, I went and grabbed 12 boxes. He's like, oh, yeah, I ate one of them. I'm like, what? Oh, I didn't know you guys were betting on that. I'm like, well, he was there the whole time, just oblivious to everything going around him. So,
and he didn't have a stake in the bet either.
He didn't. No, but he was like sitting there the whole time. But he's just like a complete airhead, didn't know what was going on. And we went and checked. We had video proof, photo evidence. We went and checked the VOD, and
so you only got 11 boxes.
Confirmed, only 11 boxes in it. So I would have needed to get like 2 more milk duds in my mouth for a push, 3 to win. I don't think I would have been able to do it. I don't know.
Did you guys wash the bet?
I gave him his money back, and then he gave me half of it, and he's like, "Here, this is for effort and entertainment." So that's how that ended up. It was
Dude, that's nice. That's sick, man. Hey,
that's pretty fun.
What just a man full of talents that what I mean. Like I could never have expected that you'd fit 40 plus milk duds in your mouth. I
guess I haven't really eaten them. Clearly you and I had no idea how big or small they were.
I haven't ate a milk dud since I was a child. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But well done.
Shows the randomness of what I'm willing to gamble on,
Okay, yeah. Before we move on from prop betting, I'm just curious, do you think you make money like at the end of the year over a year's term or year's length? Do you think you profit or lose money prop betting? I feel like this is kind of rhetorical, but
I'm sure I profit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody feels that you profit off that stuff. Anytime I hear someone talking about it, that's kind of their input.
I don't keep track of it, but I would imagine I probably profit. I'm pretty lucky guy.
I think that'd be a sick spreadsheet, man. And then you'd say what you did and then how much money you made. Like, imagine making a book out of that.
It'd be hard to overcome just at what I win off Brad and CCR.
No, so funny you brought that up, actually, because his second question was ask him how he's so good at credit card roulette.
I could learn from that too.
Brad's got a good job and he's won a ton of money. I think he's all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you kind of describing that experience. That was pretty sweet. Getting into poker, I see on Hendon Mob, it looks like your first cash dates back to 2012. When did you actually get into poker and like, what did that look like?
I was like, my mom and dad like weaned me on a deck of cards. My dad played poker. My mom didn't, but my mom like taught me how to count, like showing like blackjack hands.
Okay.
My whole life I was raised on a deck of cards. So cards are like life to me, my entire life since I could walk basically. And I've been playing poker, like family poker tournaments around the house since I could remember, stuff like that. And then Pops showed me poker. He's always played poker. You guys know Pops, the legend.
Yeah. For the listeners out there, Pops is Josh's dad, Brett, who's also a poker grinder.
Yeah. So he showed me how to play on like Poker Stars back in the day or on other online sites. And
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we'd get like a 12-pack of Budweiser, 12-pack of Mountain Dew, and like a order of pizza and just sit down and grind. And he'd just show me how to play when I was like, I don't know, anywhere from probably like 11 years old is when he like started showing me online how to play and stuff like that. And then he'd take me to like play in like local tournaments at like bowling alleys and stuff like that, bowling alleys and banquet halls, stuff like that.
Nice, man. Well, they always say like, I mean, when you look at people who are at the best of their craft, they start young. So it's really cool to see that that's kind of how you fit that path there.
Yeah, just always like, I don't know.
Did online stick with you at all?
I mean, I've always played a little bit. Like even back then I played more. Just once I could play live, I just like live a lot more.
Okay. And then we have a Discord channel, Suited Kings Discord channel, where we have a bunch of members in. And I mentioned that we were going to be having a conversation with you today. And one of our members, Wooks, had a question about you and your dad. And just curious, like how competitive it is between the two of you, whether between poker or, do you guys do betting, stuff like that? Are you guys pretty competitive?
Not that much. I mean, when we play together, like we've busted each other in tournaments. It's funny because
I'm sure
for a long time only he had busted me, and it was hilarious. We were playing like a satellite at Meskwaki into like the MSPT there back in the day. It gets to the river and I'm bluffing. He bet and I shoved over his river bet. It's like a 4-liner to a straight on the board, and he had like the 10 high straight on a 6, 7, 8, 9 board.
Okay.
And he's like, he says to the whole table, "Oh, you guys think he's got Jack 10?" and like slow rolls me. And then calls with the 10 high straight. And whatever. I had never busted him in a tournament up until that time. We're like 3 from the money and 1100 circuit event in Council Bluffs, and maybe like 10 minutes before, Steve Beal had come up and asked, have you guys ever busted each other in a tournament? Because we're at the same table. I was like, well, Pops has busted me, but I've never busted him. And I probably have like 100 big blinds in this tournament, and he has 20, and I'm opening every pot. And it folds to me in the cutoff. He's the big blind, and I have 2 kings. And I'm like, Steve, we might get our chance. And I open.
You gave the speech.
I open, and Pops shoves. I call because I have to.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to bust Pops, but I'm not going to cheat and collude. I call, and he turns over 8, so I'm just rooting for an 8. Like,
yeah,
I'm backed. I've been backed for 7 years by the same guy. Situation that I would never leave. Like, no matter what happens, like I have a great situation.
I'm glad to hear that.
Like,
yeah,
like the greatest guy. Like, I don't know, whatever. I just never leave my backing deal. And then Pops used to back me in poker when I first started playing.
Okay.
That was also a great situation for me. Like, he would put me in poker tournaments. And
I mean, no better than to have your dad, your biggest supporter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was cool. He would put me in poker tournaments, and whatever I cashed for, I just got to keep. How's that for a deal?
That's a pretty good
deal,
man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So now it's roles reversed. I put Pops in tournaments.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't give him a sweetheart deal he gave me. Otherwise, that's hard to keep up with.
That's the circle of life, man. Like, they put, they clean your diapers, and one day maybe you'll be cleaning his diapers. So
yeah, but so if you think about it, now we're 3 from the money in this tournament. I'm backed, and I back him. So it folds to me, and I open kings, and he shoves.
You're praying for an 8 for him, just so you don't feel
bad. It really
for
sucks
him.
for me to bust. I have more equity in him than I do in myself.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I can't. It's like not fair for me to. You just have to play straightforward here if you have any morals.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. No, and that's just I'm glad to hear that you take that route. I wouldn't ever expect anything less from you, obviously. So
yeah, but so we don't like try to outdo each other or anything, but we bust each other in tournaments and stuff like that. Competitively, we're just always rooting for each other and things like that.
As you should be, right? No, and both of you guys have always been super stand-up dudes. Like, never, no negativity, always social. Like, I don't know, just enjoyable to be around both you guys.
Yeah, he's a great time to play with. He's entertaining at the table for sure. Appreciate it.
For sure. Okay, so moving past like how you got started in poker, you were obviously very young. And then when did you find the World Series of Poker circuit?
When I first started playing, well, I guess when I was 18, we would go to like Florida and Iowa and Minnesota where you could be 18 and plus and play. You guys probably did that too before you were 21.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, you probably did you, Wes, or?
Just in Minnesota. I wasn't that serious. I guess I played in England, but I was even 21 when I was out there. So
yeah. So I play some of those. So I play like those weren't circuit stuff. So as soon as I turned 21, I started playing some circuit stuff. I don't know. I guess just like seeing it on like online and stuff like that is probably where we saw the name and the brand and started playing that.
I mean, did you always have a desire to collect as many rings? I mean, obviously you want to win as much as possible, but did you have like a desire to be atop of any leaderboards, or did that just come with your desire to play poker?
Yeah, I don't think that was ever even something that was in my mind or really thought of as a possibility when I first started.
Like, I mean, you have 15 circuit rings, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I believe, second now, behind 16 is the total or something like that.
Yeah. Ari's up top. And like, I mean, Ari was up top. Ari and Alex Masick maybe were up top back when I first started playing the circuit.
Yep. Yeah.
And like, those are names that like you would think of, I don't know, especially Ari. Just like, I mean, this guy's been on top of the game
forever,
right? So like, when you say, did you ever think of yourself like as being on top of those leaderboards? When I started out and I was 21, I had no cashes, no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, did I think of myself being on top of a leaderboard with Ari ever? No, not at all.
So that was that like 2012 then?
Yeah, I was 21. 2012.
Okay, cool. And then I guess my second question, lingering on that topic, is what was the circuit like at that time, and how is it different than it is now?
Oh, it was so cool and so much better back then, in my opinion. They always had the leaderboard, which was made it fun and competitive to where you could try to qualify for what's it called now? The global or it's called the Tournament Champions now, but it used to be called the National Championship, and then they changed it to be called the Global Casino Championship.
I was literally we were looking at your Hendon mob, and I'm like, what is this thing you got third place in? But yeah, good to know.
Yeah, so that used to be so fun to like travel the circuit and chase and try to qualify for. The way they did it was like there was a leaderboard where you got points throughout the year for like every cash was worth 2.5 points. Every cash where you're in the top 50% of the people that cash is worth 5 points. Top 30% of people that cash is worth 10 points. And then the final table starts being worth more, up to first place was worth 50 points. And everybody that was in the top 50 of the total season leaderboard qualified to be into that. And then everybody that
they
won,
put all 50 in,
all 50 that were on the leaderboard.
These days it's like 700 or 800 that qualify.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot more events now, ring events and stuff, like online and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it used to be the top 50 on the overall leaderboard, and points got to go, as well as everybody that won a circuit main throughout the year, which was like another 20 to 25 players. And then everybody that won what was called a casino champion, which was the person that got the most points at that stop throughout the year. So it ended up being, in the beginning, it was 100 players. So it was $1 million free roll with 100 players. So it was like a 10K seat.
Right.
And did they have it so that you could buy into that, but you'd have to pay 10 grand? Am I remembering that correctly? Or is that
at the time? True? Yes, it was only the top 200 WSOP Player of the Year points earners from the prior 2 years could buy in for 10. And probably
that's very specific.
Yeah.
10 to 20 of them would do it each year. So the field would be like 110 to 115, 120 players, you know, and the prize pool would be like 1.1 to 1.2 million.
That's pretty sick. And, you know, why I'm not sure why they got rid of that. I do remember. So this is before I ever even played a circuit, but I remember the global casino, or not that, but the casino championship scoreboards were like, you would win casino champion, right? Like if you got enough points or whatever, and that's what would qualify you for this. Besides, like is Alex Masick, right? Was that his name?
I think that's how
and Ari Angle. Who are some other players when you first started, like that inspired you or that you looked up to that you thought were really good?
Oh man, there's so many.
Just a couple that pop up.
Yeah, there was
Alan Kessler.
Yeah, Alan Kessler. Yeah, he inspires me at the slot machines.
Shit.
Back in the day when I first started inspiring players, man, it's so long ago. I'm so old. He's 32 washed. Ari's always up there. Lowry, who's up at the top of the leaderboard, is, you know, he's doing it. He's really.
Wes and I just both had our first Dan Lowry experiences this year.
Oh yeah, Council Bluffs. Yeah,
both of us did.
Yeah,
that was interesting. He's definitely a ripper, though. He's, you know, I mean, a blaster.
You know, his game is so like unpredictable from day to day. It's like my dad plays a little like that too, where like you might play with him one day, and he might play like so different than he plays the next day.
Okay, that's interesting. I was curious. I mean, he has incredible results. I mean, undeniable results. And when I was watching him play, it made me wonder how he achieved all these results. So that kind of makes sense that he kind of just is, you know, balanced all over the place. Or
he's got like great instincts, and very aggressive. He's got something going from like that Maurice does, and who else? Blake does too, where they're good at getting people to do what they want them to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, because those are three prime people. And a lot of times it's done through, well, I don't know about Dan, but like I know Blake and Maurice will just yap until, you know, I mean, they'll talk you into doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah. They're kind of, I mean, he's not really doing it in the same way as those guys.
Okay.
With his gameplay, he'll get people set up, you know.
And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, that's right. I guess, Wes, you should ask him your question that you had told me you were going to ask him about the art.
Yeah.
This would be a kind of a great time.
Yeah, I was going to get into it, but would you consider poker more of an art or a science?
I would say an art for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just so deep and so many nuances. Like there's like, I don't know, it's more of a creative game, and like, I don't know. I think an art.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So does that mean you would probably consider yourself more of a field player?
Yeah. So when we talk about Lowry or, you know, somebody like that there, or Blake, these guys are like full exploit field players.
Yeah.
I think that I am an exploit field player with a larger understanding of theory.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly, Wes and I were talking about how we thought you, or where we thought you fit, and that's pretty much exactly what we had said.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, I think,
I
almost
would
word for word what we had
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
I would say that they're better field players than I am and better exploit. They probably have better reads, better instincts, stuff like that. And then I probably have better theory.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk about that a bit, because I think a lot of times people are quick to put someone in one bucket or the other. But how does, first off, how do you improve your understanding of theory? And second off, how does your understanding of theory help your ability to exploit opponents?
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Okay, yeah, let's start with the first one. So just how do you go about studying, and how do how do you improve your understanding of poker theory?
I have some friends that are like really deep into studying. I'm not as deep into, I mean, I do some studying, but like I have some friends that I go to more for it. The main one would be Burke. You know, Burke.
Yeah, yeah.
I know punted to you plenty of times, Max. So he is like the biggest into studying of probably my closest friends. So if I need
Absolutely.
to bounce something off of him that I want to see what theory base
Yeah.
thought would be, I would take it to him probably.
That makes
Um,
sense. I think I kind of fall into that same category as you, Josh, where I mean, I study, but or Wes, for example, is far more studied than I am, especially with like solver tools and solvers in general. But my point is that being friends with him and other people who think on that level, me talking hands with them and them just kind of explaining their thought process in the way that they see it through learning through those tools kind of then implements into my game. You know what I mean? So now my theory of our understanding of theory is a lot stronger just by talking hands with them, even though I didn't necessarily put it through a tool, etc.
yeah, I've always felt that way. Like having just like in general, you're gonna pick up a lot of friends on the live scene. There's a lot of good people out there. Like poker sometimes gets a bad rap, but like the poker community and stuff like that. But there's a lot of good people out there. And
Absolutely.
there's like different types of people from so many different places and so many different worlds and areas. And like you're going to meet a lot of different types of people and people that think in so many different ways. And you get to hear their thought processes when you talk poker with them. And then you could use that. I've said this before, is like you can use that to relate to other people at poker tables that you think might think similarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And backing up real quickly, I just want to mention, I know you had said people like Blake and Maurice, you think that they're better at exploiting than you. I mean, I don't know how that can be quantifiable, but from an outsider's perspective, such as my own, I think that you're right up there with them, if not better. So that's just kind of my opinion on it.
I appreciate it. I mean, I think their results are like tough to argue with.
All three of you have incredible results. And,
Yeah.
I guess that leads to a kind of a question. I mean, Wes and I were mentioning this a little bit ago. Being a new player, someone who doesn't fully hasn't been in the scene a long time, doesn't have a full grasp on poker and how things work over the long run. They find, or they see these specific people like you, Blake, etc., constantly having great results, and they think that you have this special sauce or a secret that they don't have. What is the secret sauce to you? And obviously, I mean, you don't have to word it in such that it is a secret sauce, but what does that mean to you?
No, some people like come to me and ask that type of thing or whatever. And it's just like, there's a lot of people, it's like kind of sucks to say this, but like they're just not like they don't have it in them. There's like it's not teachable, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's like a mixture of a bunch of random things that go together very well that I happen to be fortunate enough, and a lot of people in poker happen to be fortunate enough that they were born with, combined with like the will and the drive to be willing to like put in some work and put it all together and figure it out. I think there's a lot of people that are just blessed with the instincts and the natural talent. And
Yeah.
then there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that work really, really hard. And those people are the people at the top of the game, some combination of the two. And then there's some select people that are like the top that have both combined.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you're kind of explaining in a way of natural talent versus like acquired talent or acquired skill.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, just
and
to
have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into that more, I'm glad you kind of put it that way, because when I was thinking about that, I've gotten that question in a lot of different forms too. And I'm glad you said what you did about just like working very hard at it. Because I think even if you are someone who is blessed with the instincts and a lot of the tools that it takes, like you can't actually be very good unless you are really trying to improve your game and you're playing a lot and you're thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, and being passionate, exactly. Like
Yeah,
being hungry.
it only gets you so far, right?
Mhm.
It'll get you to slight winner, or, breaky, whatever. It only gets you so far. But
Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot to just having the natural instincts for the game, which is what makes poker a beautiful game. It's like there's the people that really study and are really solved, and then there's the people that like that's why poker's like such a beautiful game.
100%. I love that we can be both ways, you know what I mean, and still be a winning player.
Yeah, it's never gonna, like, solvers are never gonna kill poker because it's so much deeper than that,
100%. So I guess this will kind of I'm not sure if you know what this is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but being someone who has like such consistent results, such as yourself, what does a downswing look like to you? Do you know what a downswing is?
Yeah, I've had for sure.
I'm
I've
just
probably
kidding.
had 3 like 6-figure downswings. So
Okay.
How many?
yeah, two of them were at like 400 to 1K average buy-in type range, So I've had decent sized downs. One time I went 0 for 59 bullets fired.
59.
That answers
That's
both.
a real downswing, yeah.
That might be, I mean, shit. I think mine is 28 or something. So
So when you talk about people that you look up to, this is kind of a good story. Phil and Lonnie Huey, they're both really good. Like
they've been
school.
legends for a long time. Yeah. Phil's a bracelet winner.
One time I was hanging out with them and we were like on a circuit stop, and Lonnie said something like, "Oh, well, what if you go 0 for 20, blah, blah, this and that?" And I'm like, "0 for 20, what's that? I've never done that, Like, and that was, I don't know, when I was only around for a couple years. And then, I went 0 for 59 at some point after that. So,
and I mean, is that live only?
Live only, yeah.
It's
a tough stretch.
I don't.
It was like,
oh man, I would be withered.
It was like after I final tabled the Millie Maker for like 6 figures, and right before I won HPT for 6 figures. So like it was a good time to go over 59. Like the two scores that was sandwiched between made it all right. Like it wasn't that miserable,
Do you think, and I'm just curious, Wes and I have been talking about winner's tilt a little bit lately. Do you think that, considering it came after 2 great results, that could have been part of the reasoning for your downswing? I mean, do you feel like you overplayed, you were overconfident, anything like that?
Another person you talk about looking up to is Nick Papillo. My friend Nick Ravello. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yep, I know Nick. Yep.
He talks about Papillo being the worst at winner's tilt. I don't think that it contributes to me at all with winner's tilt. Okay. He said that he always says in this group chat we're in that Papillo never does good after he wins, which I don't know if it's true or not. I don't think that has anything to do with me. I don't think I struggle with that at all, and I don't know if Papillo does either. Okay. But that's an interesting question. I think the answer is no for me. I don't think it has anything to do with mine.
Okay. And how do you deal with these like when you hit that, what was it, 56 you said? How do you deal with that, like emotionally, mentally?
I don't know. I just keep living life. It doesn't faze me at all, honestly. I don't know why. It's just another thing I'm blessed to be born with. It's just like a good mindset.
Yeah. Do you think I think a lot of players feel differently. Even professionals a lot of the time will be affected by that sort of thing. Do you notice other players, whether it's players at the table you're playing against or friends you talk to, do you notice people playing differently, whether they've been winning or losing recently?
Definitely. Yeah. We were just talking about that in the group chat with Brad. You were talking about, I'll bet you the majority of poker players tilt and have a mindset where they struggle with things. And I would say the majority of those players that do tilt and struggle, you don't see it. Some of them are vocal and visual, and you can see it. But a lot of them, it's an inner struggle,
Definitely.
Just like people would deal with like depression and anxiety, you might not see it or know it,
That makes, it's a great way to describe it.
I think that's a very accurate answer. So it's not the sort of thing where you'll see it at the table necessarily and you'll adjust to it. It's just kind of something that is more behind the scenes with people.
Yeah, but it's probably a lot of people are probably tilting in their mind and ready to smash your face in at the table, but you just have no idea when you beat them in a. Yeah,
absolutely.
But definitely some people at the table you can see them tilting.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And do you Now, I know you had said that you don't really feel that way. Do you feel like there's anything in your game or any times when you've played differently due to emotional reasons? Have you ever really tilted, in a positive or negative way? Or are you playing, do you feel like your game is always just very consistently good?
I think always very consistently good with one exception. I was tilted one time in my poker career, I think, and it was at Riverside recently. And
Really? Okay,
yeah,
let's hear it.
I was at your table at that tournament, I think.
it was like kind of too long of a story to really go into it, but it was just like a sequence of events that happened where the people around me were just putting me on complete tilt with everything they were doing. And it like never happens to me. And it happened. Like this guy did something where he like, I don't know, he like accidentally slow rolled me or something, which wasn't a big deal. But like everything he said or did after it, it was like, how is this happening? And then
Okay.
on to like something else happening. And then this other guy beat me in a hand where the way he played it was like completely bizarre. And then after it, he was explaining why he did it. Like
Yeah.
it was
It
the
probably
most,
made no sense.
well, it was like in his mind, it was the most incredible play of all time.
I'm
And
sure.
but it was like so many things consecutively happening. And then, yeah, but it was whatever. It just
Did you
fun.
end up
Like,
reacting then?
no, I feel like actually I blundered some hands and it might have been because of that. Like,
Okay. Your brain maybe wasn't as didn't have the clarity because maybe you were
yeah,
kind of
yeah, potentially I was like out of my fucking gourd in this situation. Like, I don't know. I've never really dealt with it before. So yeah,
okay.
probably, I don't know.
Well, that's a good thing that that's something that's so far and few between. Probably also or contributes to your results as well. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of players, and I know you see it all the time. I see it all the time. Wes sees it all the time. Is players who are newer to the game tilt and end up making terrible plays until they're out of the tournament over and over. So it ends up really having a negative impact on their game.
Yeah.
Um,
How about you guys deal with any of that?
I do. So I feel like outwardly, I don't show it at all. I feel like it's gone down over the years, but a little bit here and there. Yeah.
I definitely internalize mine a lot. I never have outbursts at the table or anything like that. But I'll kind of have, a little confession in my car or something on the way home, just kind of like let it out there. I never outwardly express it, but yeah, I mean, I feel it, I guess. I just don't, I try my hardest not to let it affect my decisions. And I feel like that's something I put a lot of effort into over the years, as I believe it used to when I was newer to the game.
So when you say you were at my table in that one, you could tell that story.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was like the person that was in the big blind is one of my best friends in life. One of my dad's best friends.
Is
Going
it?
way.
Yeah, I knew you guys knew each other just from your
Yeah.
quick conversations you're having. But I want to hear your thoughts on it now. So I don't remember the details exactly, but I think we're 3 or 4 from the money. Is that right?
I wasn't there and I remember the details from what you told me. So I
Possibly.
can,
All right. What we'll
I
do?
think it might have been two. I think it might have been two from the money even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
we
was.
were pretty much soft bubble. We are right next to the 2 from the money. I think I had somewhere around 20 big blinds.
Hmm.
It folds to me on the button. I had king nine off, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think,
Wes has
yeah.
got the fucking
So
brain.
I was there. I did not bag that time, unfortunately, but I was just running off to buy Max some Advil or something.
Yeah, I told him.
And
I
then
told him I had a headache.
and then when I left, there were 74 left and 72 were going to make the money. So it was 2 from the bubble. Max comes as I'm buying the Advil, just this look of pure disgust on his face. And he tells me, yeah, so I think he had 26 bigs. You raise king nine on the button from 5K to 10K, so min raise. The big blind tries to flick in a call, but puts in 2 5K chips. So on top of his big blind, that makes it 15K,
Yeah.
which is a legal
So
raise.
let me add something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody at the table was all okay with it being a call, including the dealer.
Yeah.
And then
The guy, what's his
Dan's
name?
son, Dan's son, he won
Dan.
2 MSPTs in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, that's got to be a raise, dealer, and then made it be forced to be a min raise. What do you guys think? Like, do you think like he should have said something in that spot, or
I wasn't mad at him for it by any means.
yeah,
Like
I think it's fine either way. I feel like he shouldn't have said something, but
yeah.
like, I mean, the rule is the rule. Like technically,
Right. It's
to be
clear what he was
obvious
trying to
his
do.
intent trying to call,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
intent doesn't matter. I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then so me, I was like, this is a great time to exploit this situation. And he's
Yeah,
clear
sure.
he doesn't have a three betting hand here. He's going to be weak enough to where I can just shove and win his misclick. Like I thought it was just a slam dunk spot.
It's a spot for you, in my opinion. What do you think, Max? Yeah, he's just facing a big blind defend hand. Like he
Yeah.
should just
Yep.
be.
Yes. So wide. And
But
then so yeah, he ends up min clicking it. I ended up ripping it, and he calls off with ace 10 off. So
it
and we lose.
makes a lot of sense. Like he was just wanted to defend ace 10 off, and then
Yeah.
now he's this little bastard's trying to take advantage of me. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
He got me though. So I ended up bubbling Riverside, which was kind of painful considering like it was supposed to be like a really easy cash considering where I was at.
Yeah. That was an
Yeah.
interesting one. I do think technically the rule is that it's a raise. And there are certain situations where if I see something, I'll speak up because it looks like it's, the dealer should have done something differently. But in that situation, I don't think I would have spoken up. I think
Yeah.
I would have just said, like, yeah, that seems like a call.
Well, I'm glad that so I don't even know his name or anything like that, but I'm glad to hear that he seems like a really good dude. Did he make a deep
Yeah.
run?
Yeah, his name's Steve Alonso. I think he probably got top 3 tables or 4 tables or something.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
did all right. Yeah, I don't think anybody did anything wrong in the hand, like rule wise or whatever. I don't think anybody was out of line. I think it was fine.
I had no ill will towards Dan, towards the towards your friend or anyone at all. No, I thought it was what I was upset about was how like the dumbest little situation, such as him misclicking, ended up costing me the bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was a fun situation the way that everything happened, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not
You
anyone's
open
fault
button.
but my own. Trying to take advantage of the situation. So
Yeah, an open button got accidentally min clicked and thought you were gonna just get it through. Which why wouldn't you, right? And then
Yeah.
like busting 2 off the money because of it. It was such a weird situation.
Anyways, a lot of weird shit happens in poker. So just one more to add to the list. Like again, as someone like you, Wes, and I, we've been playing poker for for a long time now. I have a lot of experience, and you just run into weird shit sometimes. It's things you won't expect to happen. So cool. Well, Wes, did you have anything else you wanted to dig into on that?
Yeah, a couple, not necessarily on that exact topic, but I'm curious, just like, what motivates you to succeed in poker? Is it love of the game? I guess, yeah, I'll let you take away that answer. So
Yeah. So yeah, I love the game of poker. That would probably be like first and foremost. I just love it. I just love human interaction in poker. I love the game, the nuances to it, everything about it. I just think it's a great game. So going out there and being able to enjoy it every day and doing something you love is great.
And to make a living off it, yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. So when you asked if Pops and I are competitive, we're like super competitive people, just not with each other.
Okay.
In beating each other, like competing with each other and how we do, like trying to do better than each other or something like that.
Yeah.
So like
use it as
like,
motivation.
Yeah. Competitive factors, like, yeah, just like winning. I love winning. So,
yep.
You gotta have that mindset to have the results someone like you has, though. I mean, in poker, especially, like I think confidence and just that desire to win goes a long way in a game like poker.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just going out there trying to buy into the tournament. I'm trying to win the tournament. Like I don't know. I burn money to try to win tournaments sometimes for sure. So.
Don't we all, man?
Yeah. You know what actually occurred to me, and I wasn't even planning on asking this question, but I was asked this question very recently. I thought it was a very good one. Do you find that being the best or being close to the best at a game like poker is part of your identity, and that is part of what motivates you too?
It's a good question.
I don't think. I would say no.
Okay.
I think in reality, I don't think I'm the best. I think there's too many very, very good poker players in the world. So I don't think that I use that as motivation, because if you look at like my career and what I do, I'm not playing as someone who is the best or who's trying to be the best. Otherwise, I would be doing different things in my career. If I was trying to be the best, I would be taking different approaches. You know what I mean? You can't be the best playing what I play,
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose is there a certain point if your results started falling off, would you feel that, not in a financial sense, but you'd be like, okay, no, I know that I am capable of being better than this. And you know what I'm saying? Like there's a, like maybe the being the best in the world is not the
Being the best
metric or the
in
benchmark, but being as
in
good as you know you
West,
can be.
say the best on this tour or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Being at the
Okay.
top of the leaderboard for rings, etc.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the rings thing, that's not even something I aspire for because the circuit's dust. But yeah,
That's so sad.
the circuit sucks, but it is what it is. They ruined everything. We'll go back to that because something you said earlier. But
Okay.
yeah, like being like the best in like these tours and what we're playing and stuff like that is like something competitively I'd like to do, and I think is achievable. You
Sure.
know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good
competitively,
way.
yeah. I try to achieve that status, I guess. That's fair.
Yeah.
What did
Um,
you want to get back into there?
so you said, I wonder why they changed that, like
Yeah.
the old leaderboard. Remember when you said that?
I'm assuming it's money.
Yeah, it's just like greed, right? So like
Yeah.
they went to unlimited reentries, which everybody went to unlimited reentries. But like if you think about that leaderboard in unlimited reentries, then it just becomes a who has more money, right?
Yeah.
It's not really a fair leaderboard anymore. It's not like an even playing field.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Whoever fires the most bullets is just going to get on the leaderboard.
So they just got rid of it instead.
You know what I mean? Like still like a better players will be up there, right? I mean, but like if the person that just wants to fire the most money at it probably could get there. So
Yeah.
once they go unlimited reentries, that leaderboard kind of it's harder to like, I don't know, have it be a level playing field
Yeah.
thing to do. Why they got rid of it. Plus they added, so it started getting more and more watered down over the years. Like they added all the international events and then there ended up being more. And then they added all the online events and then there ended up being more. And then yeah, they just kept changing it and changing it. It kept getting worse and worse. The seat kept getting more and more devalued. And then they just started eventually making it to where everybody that wins a ring is in, and then everybody who wins a bracelet is also in. And then yeah, just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
It's super diluted. I mean, I think last year it was 700 some entry, and it's still, you know, $1 million free roll. But, you know, back when you did it, it was I mean, you've done it since, but back then it was like the equivalent of a 10K. And now it's more the equivalent of like a 1,500 free roll
Yeah.
or something.
Which is still nice they do something. And like, I appreciate, like, you know, we're lucky to be able to have anything, you know, so whatever. I don't want to seem like an entitled, ungrateful person, but
No, you're
like,
just being realistic, though. I mean, you're just kind of saying what you've experienced and what I think a lot of us have experienced over a lot of different places doing things like that in poker.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fallen off. They did like, and then they got rid of live reporting, and then they've done so many things that made me go away from the circuit. And they did get live reporting back, and they have done
Kind
some,
of.
yeah, kind of like it's better. They got it back to some extent. It's better than you know what it was last year. And
Shout out to Liam.
yeah, poker org, they're doing it. So
Yeah.
I do agree with what you're saying though, and in the sense that like when there's so much poker and you know, or so many like events for the same sort of series, like bracelet series, circuit events, and you're able to buy in unlimited times for all of them, it sort of dilutes the importance or the prestige that comes with those sort of accomplishments and awards of either winning
Yeah.
a bracelet or winning a leaderboard, you know, that sort of thing. Poker's an interesting game in the sense where, at least as far as live play, you don't really know how profitable anyone is. And so you sort of default to the people who get the bracelets or get the titles, but you really never know what the behind the scenes looks like for any of them. If they bought in,
Yeah.
if they're buying in 20 times per event. Or
Like we see these
Yeah.
people with all these earnings on hand, and like you don't even know if they're actually winning players.
yeah, I mean you have Deeb and Negreanu at like they're like some of the most notable players, and they're like multi-tabling every event, max firing bullets every event. Like it describes what you're talking about. Like they're chasing the player of the year, chasing the leaderboard, chasing the bracelets.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
post his results from last year and he got wrecked, you know.
Yeah.
$2
Well,
million or
and
something.
yeah, actually, it was interesting. I listened to him talk about that, and he said he's going to be doing less of chasing the player of the year
I
because he
saw that.
wants
Yeah,
to play
he told me
better.
that. And
Yeah.
I've played with Deeb. Deeb's an like incredible poker player, incredible poker mind. But you play with him when he's chasing that. He's not playing his A game.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. He's just firing,
And
firing,
Negreanu the
firing.
same. They're not trying their best when, so it's hurting their ROI greatly when they're
Mhm.
when chasing that player of the
Yeah.
year.
That makes sense. I'm glad you also brought up too, like how the unlimited entries kind of hurts everything. Because I mean, obviously, it's clear how it hurt the World Series of Poker circuit. I know all of us grind the MSPT circuit, and they've bounced back from single reentry to multiple, or to unlimited reentry. And we had Blake Bond on the podcast maybe about a month ago or so, and he even, I mean, he stated himself, he's like, ever since they made it unlimited entry, it's been unfair. This is why I win. It's like this is why I'm always there, is because I have the bankroll to put myself there every time. So.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
because the venues, the tours, they're all making more money that way. The prize pools are bigger, but
yeah.
in reality, in my opinion, it's short-sighted greed, and it's like the circuit's guilty of it, the MSPT is guilty of it, every tour is guilty of it, and I
Right,
don't think
because
it's
they're a business at the end of it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
of course they're doing what's good for their bottom line, but I think it's short-sighted. I don't think it's long-term. Maybe it is. Maybe it's sustainable. I don't
No,
know.
I do. No, I do agree with you though. I think that it will hurt it in the long run.
Josh, if you were the person organizing one of these tours, let's say you could make a circuit of tournaments. There's like a series of 10 days, 2 weekend tournaments that were multi-day and then a bunch of events throughout the week. How would you structure the tournaments in terms of, would they be freeze out, single reentry, freeze out, in this terms of you can rebuy once or like buy in once per flight? How would you
And what events would you put in there?
that too?
I like how MSPT used to be single reentry per flight.
Yeah,
Um, I think that's good. That's what the circuit mains still are for the
I think
most
they
part.
are. I think that's
I
right.
Um,
think the circuit mains actually, yeah, the World Series circuit mains
yeah,
are
I
that
don't
way.
as much, but like let's preface this with we're dumbass poker players and they're professional businessmen that run poker tours, so they probably know more than us.
Yeah,
Um, but
absolutely.
but I don't know. Another thing I don't care for is allowing reentry until you have 7.5 blinds, and they all do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes. Yeah.
that's why I've been going down and playing Florida more lately.
Okay.
Seminole Hard Rock, they closed reentry at 20 blinds.
It's a great time to end it
Yeah, I like that.
in terms of rebuying for us at least.
Yeah, I just think it just sucks the poker community dry when you can unlimited reentry until 7.5 blinds, like the circuit does. Every tour does it, really. And
Yeah.
I don't know. And then something the circuit does also is the 15% payouts, which in my opinion is also greed from them. It's them wanting more people to cash, so more people can have a min cash to buy in again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just recycling rake. It's just
Uh,
a lot of decisions that are made worrying about their pocketbook that is all greed by them. That's
okay.
that's how I see it, and maybe I could be wrong. I haven't discussed it with anyone. That's just my opinion. So
Okay.
that's why I play a lot less circuit stuff.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate you
That's
sharing that.
that's super interesting because I actually thought the 15% was kind of nice in the sense that like when someone, especially for the actual World Series, like some recreationals will go out and like it allows a few more of them to cash and sort of have that story, you know?
Yeah, people like to
Um,
cash. So
yeah.
obviously, yeah.
Um,
People like to make day two. People like to cash. Everything that they can do
Recreational
better. Yeah,
specifically,
exactly.
just to say they have that under their belt.
Hmm.
one last question I had. What do you think is something that most poker players completely ignore that would greatly help them improve their game?
I would say probably just paying more attention to people at the table.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are just not paying attention enough to what's going on around them.
And all the information that they can get from that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of information to be had at a poker table in
Mhm.
live poker.
It's a good one. I think in our last episode, Max and I talked a little bit about one of our New Year's resolutions was to put our phone away at the table
Yeah,
and really take in everything.
And dial in, because you might have a decision that could rely on some piece of information that you might have missed because you weren't paying attention to something they did in a previous hand with someone else. You know what I mean? Like it could potentially could, make you a lot of money, just something small. So
yeah, I'm awful about it myself. Like I used to be a lot better. But like I say that my piece of information that could help people, and I'm on my phone all the time too. Like
To be
I'm not
yeah,
I'm
and to
not
be
dialed in.
fair, yeah, it's not easy to do. I mean, we're playing poker for sometimes 12 hours in a single day. You know, I mean, having the capacity to sit there and focus the entire time is extremely difficult, and it's tiring too. So I mean, I'm just trying to use that as a starting point to, when I am on my phone, to recognize, hey, oh, I'm on my phone. I should set this down and pay attention a little bit. And then I might find myself 30 seconds later looking at my phone again. But again, it's something to, to remind myself, like, hey, set this down, time to pay attention again. I find myself battling with it, but it helps.
Yeah, me too. That's why I like playing in Deadwood.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
they don't
love it.
let you have your
There
phone.
have the rule you can't use your phone, which
That's
seems
pretty cool.
ridiculous, but I like the rule. Like
Yeah.
I would never think that I would like it, but I kind of like it. You just have to engage more with, and you have a better time. You communicate with humans more. Like it's like 2004 or something before we all had computers in our hands. You know?
And especially with, I mean, potential, I mean, not that this is really an issue right now, but, people cheating as well. So,
Yeah, I could be better about not using my phone all
okay.
hours of my life in general, away from poker.
Yeah.
True of many of us.
You know what? That is an absolutely a great segue to the last question I have for you here, Josh. And that's being, someone like yourself who's a traveling pro. I mean, you've been traveling for what, over a decade now, pretty frequently, right? Or regularly.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, so you're currently married, right? How long you been married?
Since 2013. So
Okay. Oh, wow, I didn't even realize it was that long. Well, 11 years of marriage. That's incredible. I guess so. This question definitely hits for you. How do you balance, work and life being a professional poker player? For example, like, how do you, I mean, I've seen your wife can travel with you sometimes. That's awesome. What do you do when you're not at poker to kind of balance that?
that's the thing is like I think part that helps is like not grinding online. I think if I grinded online, she'd probably like murder me because
Mhm.
like if I travel so much. If when I was home, I was just playing online all the time too, it'd just be like poker, 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 you know?
Yeah.
So like I try not to play as much when I'm home. So I think that probably helps a little bit. But also she's just like super supportive and understanding and helpful and
You found the right one.
yeah, she's great. We've been together literally over half of our lives now. We were together 6 years before we got married. So,
Dude, I'm super happy to hear that, and I'm very thankful for my soon-to-be wife. She's super supportive of me as well. And, I'm out just looking for whatever advice I can to make sure that I can balance playing as much as I do and continuing to make her happy. Obviously, her being the priority.
yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Are you guys gonna try to start a family afterwards, or what are you thinking
Yeah,
there?
so yeah, exactly. So within the next year and a half or so here, I think we'll try and have our first kid, and then we'll probably end up, our goal is to have two kids. So I mean, the good news is we're both, this is our both of our first marriages. We're both in our middle 30s now, so we're both a lot more mature than a lot of people are when they first get married. I mean, we both have our own houses and things like that. So, it won't be too difficult. We're able to, be self-supportive essentially. So it works, support each other well because of that, if that makes sense.
That's awesome, man. Congrats, man. Yeah,
I
good
appreciate
luck on
that.
the wet.
Yeah. So again, just wanted to holler at you and see what kind of advice you have for me. Secondly, being that you travel so much, I mean, are you staying at hotels I mean, at all these stops? How do you deal with these expenses? And like, do you have any tips for like write-offs, or like, what do you do to make that sustainable?
I do a lot of hotels, a lot of Airbnbs, and yeah, just make sure you keep good track of everything and get yourself a good accountant. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a good one. I used this guy, Russ Fox in Vegas.
yeah,
You familiar with him?
yeah, he's very, very by the book, which is good for him. But I
Yeah,
think that
he almost screwed me out of a few grand once, so I decided I would never use him again. I called him out on, it, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." So I was like, "All right, well, I'm just not going to use you next year." So
I also had better experiences with other accounts than Russ. I don't want to like, I don't,
yeah,
whatever.
no, he's
I
not a
think
bad guy or anything. I just
he just
had
does things
discrepancy.
very straightforward.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I work with someone who is based in Vegas, and his firm basically just works with professional poker players or other sorts of gambling related stuff. I think I've had great experiences. So if there's anyone out there who is like looking for someone to help with that sort of stuff, feel free to I can kind of refer, if you want to reach out to me or
I'll
to
probably be
Josh.
I'll be hollering at you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone new this year.
Yeah, because I actually, I know I have a friend whose dad has his own accounting firm, and I don't use him because he doesn't work with gamblers and poker players.
Having someone that specializes in that probably will make it a lot better because there's a lot of different things to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else, Josh, that you wanted to touch on like home and work life balance?
Oh man, I don't know. Just
what do you do outside of poker? I know you shoot some hoops, right?
Yeah, I play basketball. I don't stay as active as I should, but I like to play basketball. I play Fortnite video games.
You're a gamer. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, probably been playing too much again lately. I go on spurts of on and off. I'll play, and then I won't play. Then I'll play.
I do that same thing. I used to play Fortnite back in 2018, like when like Ninja and Tfue were extremely popular. I was obsessed with it. I would sit there in the creative and practice building for hours.
Yeah, they got 0 builds now, which is for like us old dudes that can't keep up with the 15, 16-year-old crackheads out there.
They are cracked. There's no doubt about that. Josh, we're going to go ahead and get wrapping up here. I appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to come and talk with us. This has been a lot of fun. What does 2024 look like for you? You're just going to keep at the grind? I know you had a big, $1 million in earnings last year. Are we going to try and eclipse that this year?
Yeah, let's shoot for the stars. Let's double it.
I love that. I'll be behind you, seeing that stops trying to get half that or a quarter of that.
Yeah, I'm taking it easy the beginning of the year here. I finished pretty busy the end of the year last year. I played quite a bit of stuff, so Blackhawk's gonna be my first stop. Then I'll kind of get it moving a little bit.
All right. Well, I'll be gone up until probably. I'll be playing local stuff until the beginning of March, and then I'll be traveling the MSPT stops again. So I look forward to seeing you there. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas. We're gonna have to do dinner, lunch, and whatever else comes in between that.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah, again, appreciate you hanging out here, and we'll have a good day. All right, man?
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.